Hennessy CB. Are we on? Yeah. Welcome everyone to McEwen Reserve and welcome back to NPL Victoria Action. Golden Valley Suns taking on Pascoe Vale. My name's Alex Mitchell and joining me today on commentary is Liam Nash. Liam, how are you and what do you make of this one?
Yeah, good thanks mate. It's great to be back here at McEwen Reserve again, back on the live stream. Welcome to all that are joining us tonight. So we've got a bit of a cracking contest here in Pascoe Vale versus GV Suns. It's second versus fourth and it's shaping up to be a ripper contest. Now, GV Suns coming off a 2-0 loss to Manningham United Blues last weekend. Plenty of chances missed. What did you make of that one, Alex Mitchell?
Well, from the highlights I saw, it looked like the Suns had a lot of chances they couldn't quite take, and in the end fallen to a defeat against a team they really would have thought they would have been able to beat. Not what they want as they continue to push towards the top of the table, but as you said, still in a relatively good position at the moment, the Golden Valley Suns. And it should be quite an exciting encounter tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And conversely, Pascoe Vale coming off a 2-1 win over Bulleen Lions. So that'll hold them in good stead. They've been on a pretty stellar run of form as of late. They haven't lost any of their past 5 games, winning 4 out of the 5. And they'll be looking to make it 6 unbeaten tonight. But the GV Suns will have something to say about that. Home form has been, leaves a lot to be desired, but they'll be hoping to pick it up right here tonight and put on a show for the home fans. Any predictions for the score tonight, Alex?
No, I think it'll be a tight one. I think the Suns would be happy to grind out a result. They were keeping a lot of clean sheets earlier in the season. I'm tipping they'd love to get back to that sort of form as we await. I think we're waiting for the lights here. A bit of small delay, or are we going to we're going to kick off at McEwen Reserve. So a huge clash, as you said, second versus fourth. Big title ramifications for both sides as we get underway.
Yeah, so the last time these two squared off, it went 1-0 in the Suns' favour away at CB Smith Reserve. It was Shane Dunn from an indirect free kick that got the Suns over the line. But in the time since, the Suns haven't picked up as many wins as they would have wanted after that stellar 3-run unbeaten run. But starting early with Darcy Paulick inside Pascoe Vale's box, just shut out, and the visitors will knock it around the back to start off. Ball's going out to Adrian Tallarico at right back. He's shut down by George Muir here. He'll be forced to go all the way back to, I believe that is Nareem Rahimi.
Sure is. Pascoe Vale just knock it around to the back and they'll race it through the keeper. Rahimi again. He'll have a look. Plays it to Hennessy. They'll try it down the left, and it's a nice little move there from Yildiz. Pushes forward and finds, I believe, Lockheed in a bit of space. Passy Giorgio went all the way back to Rahimi, but they're just having a bit of possession to start the game off. Clever flick from Tallarico, but it will be dealt with by Liam Kilty. And McLeod gives it the bit of leather, and it's into touch.
Yeah, Pascoe Vale shaping up quite interestingly. It looks like they're almost playing 5 at the back with 3 centre-backs and pushing their wing-backs wide and high. So it'll be quite interesting to see how the Suns are going to combat that. Actually got 2 balls on the pitch, but the ref hasn't seen, so we'll play on.
That's right. At the back again, Rahimi. Comfortable with the ball at his feet. That's Giorgio. Now Hennessy. No, that's not Hennessy, is it? Does take you a few minutes to pick up the names of the opposition teams. There's pressure's on there, and Pascoe Vale will clear the lines.
That was Patrick Sartori, the American, just clearing his lines. But here's Pascoe Vale moving forward. That's Tallarico just making that darting run, and Lockheed's done well to beat his man. Find the captain, Joseph Youssef, and it's gone back to Lockheed. What's he going to do? Tallarico, shadowed by Nash, and it'll be the Kiwi who forces it out for a Pascoe Vale throw.
Well, you've done your research as always on the Pascoe Vale play. I'm sure you'll be as they are pushing. Well, Hatsi Georgia turns really nicely. It has a hit from distance and it's nowhere near. Doesn't even nearly challenge McLeod, and the Suns will have a goal kick. Got any nuggets for us early?
No, I'll save them for later. Keep the viewers watching, I reckon. But where the Suns need to improve is in that final third. They're playing with an attacking trident. It looks like it's going to be spearheaded by Vani Shamoon in the number 9, with Sean Grant out on the right and George Murray out on the left. The Suns only scored, I believe, 16 goals from 11 games so far this season. And they'll need a few tonight if they get past this second-ranked Pascoe Vale side, finding Matt Lelliott in the midfield.
And they certainly do look like quite a defensive operation. The Pascoe Vale side does look almost like a three at the back there with Rahimi Hennessy and Greg Itch. A lot of them sort of pushing really quite deep, and as you say, you've got the wing backs in Tallarico and Yildiz pushing as high as possible. That one's chopped off by Nash. Dunn turns nicely, tries to chip one through. No one's going to be able to get on into that other than Satori, the Pascoe Vale goalkeeper.
Yeah, and we speak of their astuteness at the back, but you got to watch out for that man, number 10, Attila Offley. 9 goals so far this season, leads the NPL2 Golden Boot race currently. Obviously has a bit of class, but here's Lockhead. He'll go wide to his wing back, Tallarico. He's got Nash on his case, and he'll chop inside Nash, but Kilty's there to clear the ball out. And he's one who'll have to be a bit cautious tonight. Himself and Shane Dunn both on 4 yellow cards, I believe. Nonetheless, there's Hisoli just knocking around with Lockhead.
That's right, they look like quite a good football inside the Pascoe Vale here. Pushing forward, that's Offley, the man you spoke of. Clever with the ball at his feet, while the yield is. Rahimi, we're going to see a lot of this tonight, I think. Tallarico pushing high, taking on Nash. Saw him cut inside before, couldn't quite control it after he took him on. That'll be how they will look to attack, I think, for a lot of the night through these wing backs.
Yeah, absolutely. The Suns already showing that they're probably not going to have as much of the ball as they have in previous games. But they're going to have to make the most of their opportunities. As Dunn looks long, but that's cut out. The big man, Joseph Youssef. Kilty were going for a 50-50, but that's Hisoli winning it well. Nash will bring it under. Find Darcy Pollock in the 10.
Did well there, Paul, to ride the challenge. Nash tries to help him out. Lockett got involved and the ball's gone out. It'll be a Suns throw, but good bit of possession from the Suns there. They've just got to try and find their footing in the game. Nash doesn't see too much he likes and flings it back to Kilty. Across to Dunn.
Yeah, we saw a little bit before of the brilliance of Darcy Pollock, but from a Suns perspective, he really hasn't converted. Hasn't scored all season. Put one away in the Suns' 4-1 win over KC Comets, but is obviously a talented player. Probably is just lacking that end product at the moment for the Suns, but nonetheless, he's held in good stead by his 2 defensive midfielders in Shane Dunn and Matt Lelliott, but that's Adam Gatcombe back in the side, winning the ball well off Attila Offley. And that's the sort of ball that the Suns are going to have to be smarter about if they're to break down this Pascoe Vale defence here at McEwen Reserve tonight.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to get the job done. You're going to have to pick out a target slightly more precisely than that. Lockhead knocked it into touch there, and Nash will try and find someone from the throw. Suns into their attacking half now. Can't see anything. Goes for Pollock. Straight back out. Pascoe Vale throw.
And just running through the earlier results, we believe it was a 2-0 win for the Suns in the under-19s over Pascoe Vale. But the 21s went the way of Pascoe Vale 4-2. There's Sean Grant just cutting out a switch ball from Pascoe.
He did nicely to lay the tackle. Couldn't quite do much with it, but I mean, it's better than nothing. Hisoli chipping one. Tries to pick out, I believe Yildiz. got very high earlier. As a fullback, he's done well there. That's going to be chopped off by Lelliot. Hauler. Can the Suns break here? Murray. Touch was nice. Shows a bit of pace. Takes on Hennessy. Corner, but the keeper's chopped across off. That's Satori, and he'll look to distribute. A nice run from Murray.
Yeah, that's what you come to expect week in, week out from Murray. Very direct player, doesn't muck about with the flip-flaps and the step-overs, but he's happy to run at your defenders.
Nice little spell here from the Suns. The defensive pressure's been good. Lockhead's been busy, but this is going to be Grant having a speculative effort that was probably a couple of metres over from about 40 yards, but probably the first shot of the game for the Suns, so they're on the ball in that respect. Yeah,
you'll take it, and Sean Grant does have a worldie in his locker. We saw it a fortnight ago against Bulleen Lions in that 3-0 win, cutting back onto his right and just guiding it into the top right corner. The Suns are going to have to weather a bit of pressure here. Nash wins the header, but it's Tallarico will go back to Lockhead. He plays it through, and Tilla Offley is about 3 yards offside.
Yep, didn't even nearly beat the trap there, but he's that's the sort of thing he's going to, keep you on your toes all day. Is that when you're a defender, he's going to be trying to beat that trap, drifting in. He seems to be sort of starting out on that left with Big Yusuf leading the line, but he's drifting centrally a lot at Offley, and he's obviously a dangerous player. His record over the years clearly speaks to that. He's guilty. Gives up a bit of ground and back to McLeod. Done. Didn't like the attention there, and they picked out a foul. Nothing more than that. A bit of a talking to.
Interesting to see from Suns coach Craig Carley opting to stick with Sean Pye at centre back in the starting lineup. He does have Alice Williamson back available for selection, but he's chosen to stick with the former Murray United man. And he's held firm so far as he sends it high looking for Shamoon. Suns will keep the ball in his Gatcombe. He's not shy to shoot. He gives his Varney Shamoon a bit of a spray. What was that one about?
I think he thinks Varney should have made a run for him, and he seems to believe it rather passionately. But he's made his point. Couldn't pick anyone out that time, Gatcombe. The boys from Melbourne, they'll turn it over there. Gatcombe again. He's turned it straight back over. Varney wins it back. Leading the line today, Shamoon. Pulls it inside. Dunn tried to play a clever pass that was chopped off, and they'll try and bring it the other way. Here's Yusuf. Rides the tackle from Welliot, and Slowle's first foul of the day. He did promise us before the game he'd secure a yellow card, so we'll see how he throws the body around tonight, but never shy to lay a tackle or two.
No, absolutely not, but that was one of the smarter Matt Elliott fouls I think I've witnessed. They were on the counter there, Pascoe Vale, and he had to make a challenge and did, so well done to that man.
That's right, big Rahimi. Big diagonal, and it's worked beautifully for Yildiz. Just didn't sit for him. Skidded off probably quite a dewy McEwen reserve at this time of the night, or evening. As it quickly darkens in Shepparton, and it's quite nippy too, so everyone's got the GV Suns beanies on tonight. So you've scored a freebie, well done.
Yeah, shout out to Jackie Stojanovski for hooking me up. Much appreciated. But yeah, it is a bit cold here, and we had plenty of rain beforehand. I'm sure the under-19s would have copped it, but it's a perfect night for football here in Shepparton. Just that little bit of skid on the pitch is what you want, especially in the midfield, being able to slice those passes left, right, and centre. Bit of noise from the Pascoe Vale bench there, but it will be a GV Suns throw. Adam Gatcombe to take.
Yep, not too much action early on. No huge chances for either side, really. Dunn and Gatcombe knock it around. Believe that's Pye.
Ball forward, looking for Shamoon, but that'll be Ivan Gergic to cut it out and go back to his custodian. Here's Sartori, looking long, and it will end up at the feet of Yusuf, Kilty. He may be about 6'5", but the boy can run.
Yeah, and he had to be quick there. I mean, that's the sort of ball that's going to find Offley a lot of the time, and he's going to normally be able to latch onto it and effort a shot at goal. I think they want the foul. The ref played advantage, and Pascoe Vale players stopped, and then they didn't bring it back. So anyway, it works out for the Suns. Pulled it wide. Grant. His ball into the middle, really found it to the danger area, but there was no one there in the end. Elliott will win it back. If they'd scored there, they would have been quite angry, Pascoe Vale, I reckon. They thought they should have had a free kick in there, attacking third. Nash. His ball back to Elliott was chopped off by Yusuf, who pushed back very well, and it's going to be a Pascoe Vale throw.
Yeah, it was quite astounding there. Seemed like every single one of the Pascoe Vale players just stopped in their tracks, but you've got to play by the whistle.
That's right. I'd be interested to know the ref's interpretation, because he clearly signalled the advantage, and then when they stopped, and as if they were opting not to take the advantage, he wasn't having a bar of it. So anyway, that's first I've sort of seen of that. But it would have been a free kick in quite a optimal position for the Pascoe Vale boys. But they'll go again.
Yeah, see.
Big Grigic. Into Hatzi Giorgio. Out of bounds, and I think that will be Suns ball.
Yeah, Nick Hatzigeorgiou, bit of class about him. I believe he captained a Melbourne City NPL side, which consisted of the likes of Joe Gauchi and Stefan Kolikovsky, both sort of seasoned A-League players now, after a cracking breakout year from both. This Pascoe Vale lineup is studded with talent, and is the captain, Yusuf. And he wins the ball off a pretty arduous tackle there from Adam Gatcombe, but they'll recycle. There's Rahimi.
First time we've seen three at the back for an opposition team this season, you reckon?
Yeah, I reckon. It's sort of strayed away from in the NPL, but it seems to be working. Plenty of space ahead of the Pascoe Vale centre backs that they can run into. And the midfielders have been busy, namely that man Yildiz, been up and down that left-hand flank. As Bardi Haisoli turns on the ball and goes wide.
Yep, that's your man Yildiz. Been doing his work all day down that left. They'll fling it across. Rahimi just searching around for that decisive ball. Here's Tallarico. Tried to nutmeg Nash, who was was ready for the task. Hennessy and Rahimi. Chipped one, and that's going to work out nicely, I think, unless McLeod's ready for it. He is. He does a good job there. So probably a quarter of an hour the way through, and no huge chances either way.
Yeah, you'd have to say Pascoe Vale have had the better of the possession.
Yep,
Suns just having to work their way into the game, but they haven't played badly. As Attila Offley sends a searching ball over, but that's well headed away by Nash. He's got to deal with it and doesn't. Here's Scott Lockhead on the ball, the Scotsman. Evades the tackle. And goes back in. And how about the acrobatics there from Joseph Yusuf? Just about taking Sean Grant's head off.
Yeah, nothing in it, but he did nearly decapitate him. Rightly so, the referee has pulled out a foul for that one. No card. And the Suns all look to get going then. So he wanted to show his athleticism and rise high for that one, and sort of kick the bloke in the head instead. So close, but no cigar that time for Pascoe Vale.
What would he be, Yusuf? That's 6'4".
Yeah, he's a big boy.
He is a big boy. Suns will have to be pretty wary from set pieces and balls into the box when a man like that's lurking.
Certainly, and a big Grigic at the back looks about 6'5" as well. So I mean, if they can fashion a set piece or something, I reckon he might be one of the ones heading up and trying to nod one in. As Hatzi Giorgio fired it in. It's going to end up with Hennessy. Tallarico. Level ball inside. Offley was quickly tackled by Wellick, and the Suns counter. Nash couldn't really find anyone. Dunn, whose captain's armband has become somewhat of a bracelet at this point. He's got to lift that up. Gatcombe chips one in, and it's easy money for Satori.
Yeah, we found out that in this first 15 minutes or so that long balls aren't going to cut it. We saw an early one from Rahimi that looked the goods, but with the ball skidding off the surface, Zach McLeod was quick off his line to snuff that one out, but ball goes wide to Tallarico. He'll go back to Hennessy, who I believe his grandfather was a bit of a staple for the Wales national side. But here's Attila Offley. He's onside, takes a strike, and it is parried away by Zach McLeod. Good chance there for Pascoe Vale.
Yeah, best chance of the game. Not too dangerous, I suppose, because McLeod had to cover the whole time. But I think if Offley gets that chance again, he might hit it with a bit more power and find one of the corners, I reckon. That was probably as easy as it could have been for McLeod. And that's how quickly it can happen with this Attila Offley. He can find some space in the blink of an eye. He's having a shot at goal, but no damage done that time. In the future, I expect he could do a bit better.
Yeah, he looks to be the main outlet. Joseph Youssef hasn't had a whole lot of the ball so far for Pascoe Vale up front. We can see the likes of Hatzi Georgiou just dropping deep, looking to pull the strings. But the Suns midfield has done well so far. Dunn and Laliet especially just holding position, but Paulick's lost the ball in a pretty dangerous area and swiftly won it back again with a pretty cracking slide tackle. Here's the Suns on the break. Paulick again goes wide to Grant. He's got a bit of space ahead of him, but he opts back to Dunn. Dunn just looking for those cute passes, but they're not paying off tonight. It could be the surface. But he's done well to win it back. Found wide to Mira. He'll have it first time, and a few shouts of cup of tea with that slice. What do you reckon?
Yep, nowhere near. I think that's a bit sort of symptomatic. I think that's the word about what the Suns have been like tonight. They haven't really been able to create too much, and when they get half a sniff of goal, they're just going to have a crack at it. And that time, nowhere near the target, unfortunately. Just checking the temperature. The feels like temperature, which I'm not really sure of the science behind that, but it's 3 degrees here in Shepparton, according to that statistic. So that gives you an idea of how nippy it is. But I'm sure the players won't be worrying about the cold too much. As beautiful run there. He rode the tackle very nicely, did Hasoli. Suns will go long by McLeod. Varney Shamoon playing the number 9 role. Just got to keep contesting for those high balls and try and knock it down to one of his forwards if possible.
Yeah, Shamoon up against 3 centre halves tonight. It's probably not something he's used to, but I think going forward he's just going to have to stick with one of them and have to gamble, especially on those long balls.
He's
going up again.
Doing stuff like that, keeping the pressure on, pressing as much as possible, trying to fashion a turnover. As Kilty very smartly kicks the ball away, just to really speed the game up. Tallarico, hunt for an option, and he gains 10 metres as Kilty nods it back into touch.
And you have to say, Kilty's been good all season for the Suns. Still young, I believe only about 19, 20 years of age, and has carved out a spot for him in that starting centre-back position.
Yeah, he wouldn't have missed too many games, if any, I think, this season. He's been a mainstay in defence.
Absolutely. Disciplined, good passer of the ball, smart footballer, so if the Suns can keep hold of him, they've got a real player on their hands there.
Certainly, beautifully cut inside by Tallarico, but his ball wasn't good enough. Kilty chopped it off. I think the dewy surface is getting to a few of the players, just a few sort of missed passes and touch that they wouldn't normally be displaying. Shamoon went to win that one, but was tackled and put on his feet. Offley chips one. It's offside. Lockhead wouldn't have scored anyway, I guess, but referee was equal to the task there, saw the offside and had the flag up straight away.
Yeah, you could see Nick Hatzi-Georgiou with his head in his hands because I believe he was onside, and if his fellow teammate would have left it for him, he was probably away, but it doesn't matter now. The chance is over, but regardless, Pascoe Vale still has the ball about 10 metres inside the Suns' half. As we took over about, 20 minutes?
Yeah, call it 25.
25.
25, something like that. Very high-tech here at McGill. We don't have the stopwatch on, unfortunately. We'll remember 1 week. That's a Giorgio. Back to Rahimi. And I think you were telling us that Hennessy had some good pedigree.
Yeah, absolutely. The grandfather. Plenty of caps for Wales and about 300 plus combined for both Nottingham Forest and Birmingham City back in the day. So he's not quite touched the heights of his granddad, but he's doing well tonight. in restricting the Suns' front line. Haven't had a whole lot of the ball. Has the attacking trident of Murahi, Shamoon and Grant, but they'll look to come into the game as time ticks by. Here's Lockhead. He's running for it.
Oh, gee.
And he's forced Zach McLeod to come out, and he's done really well there. The young,
Strong there. He did
absolutely. Nonetheless, Tallarico looked long. That's not going past the head of Liam Kilty anytime soon. Rahimi stepped up. Good touch inside by Yildiz, but he's lost out to Darcy Paulick. They got men streaking forward here. Do the Suns. First time ball in. It's a great ball across. Murahi. He's one-on-one here. What's he got? Shifts it onto his left, back onto his right. He's got men coming in. Here's Laliot. He's good for a screamer. Oh, and he's just dragged that one pretty horribly past the right-hand post, but a great chance there for the Suns.
It was a good chance, Murray. He did very well, and if he had have just pushed straight away and shot, who knows what the result might have been. He probably thought he could fashion something just a bit higher percentage. In the end, wasn't quite the effort they would have wanted. The Laliot quick shot from distance that was sliced well wide. But good signs. The ball from Grant was beautiful, and if they can keep breaking like that a bit more, they'll be certainly a more dangerous prospect as the ref picks up a foul. I believe it was Laliot again.
Yeah, that strike from Laliot was like myself on the first tee at Marupna. Far right. But in typical Laliot fashion, he's followed it up with a pretty outstanding foul. No card shown, which is probably fair to him. But here's Hennessy. He'll look wide for Tallarico. He's been very active down this right-hand flank, as has Lockhead. Looks like he's got a bit about him. But Dunn does well. Now Murahi's away. Just a bit too many wheat bix on that ball forward for Shamoon. Sartori will find Gergic. Out to Hetzi Georgiou. Here's Yusuf. Looks wide.
It would have been a good ball if that had got through, but it didn't. And instead, Paulick will bring it the other way. Shamoon holds it up. Needs to find someone, and he does. I believe it was Grant played the ball there. It was chopped off. He was looking for Darcy Paulick, who drifted into a nice little spot in the box, but cut out by the Pascoe defence. Tallarico, nice touch there. Can they push? He's picked up a free kick, I believe, and I think it was George Murray who would have given it away. Or perhaps it was Vone Shamoon. He's having a bit of a chin wag with the referee, but either way, it's a free kick for Pascoe Vale.
Yeah, game just opening up in this last 5-minute period. But end-to-end football, which is always good for the fans here. There's a few of them at McEwen Reserve tonight, but a couple of really good chances for the Suns especially. If they are going to make Pascoe Vale pay tonight, it's probably going to be on the counter-attack with the wingers of Murahi and Grant. But they need to get shots on, and they need to get shots on target. As Tallarico just skins Nash. Ball forward, but it's Kilty again. They call him the janitor because he mops up. Out wide, Gatcombe hasn't seen a lot of the ball tonight. Offs for Pye. He'll dink one over the top, looking for Grant. But he is judged to be offside, and it will be a Pascoe Vale free kick.
Well, I wonder what the Suns coaching staff would make of this opening. They haven't created too many chances themselves, but they have looked rather solid at the back, and they haven't given away too many chances. So you're sort of right in the contest with one of the league's best sides. More importantly, I wonder what Pat Kilty will think of it, because you're actually going to be interviewing him at half-time. I don't know if you've told him that yet, but you got your first question lined up?
Absolutely not. As you said, we'll just do things on the fly. If he doesn't know, I don't know. It's a fair playing field. That's the way we'll play it, but he's absolutely always full of vim and vigour is Mr. Kilty, former coach of myself and many of the other Suns breakouts.
It's a very interesting ball from Lockett, but it worked out really nicely. Offley drops deep, chips one. Oh, it's a ripping ball too. Tallarico will get there. Oh, and his ball was lacking in quality.
It's, as Matt Laliot would say, yuck. But the ball from Attila Offley left little to be desired. Just floated into a really dangerous area there. And if Tallarico could have picked a man out, the Suns could have been in danger.
Yeah, well, you touched on the results from the other games earlier, and the big results are happening over in Europe, aren't they? We've got the quarterfinals overnight tonight. England, Ukraine. I think there'll be a few Suns boys watching that one. A few of the old Englishmen over here in Australia. So good luck to all the Englishmen tonight. Should be a good game. You'll be watching that one.
Yeah, absolutely. The 5 a.m. wake up's a bit cruel, but we'll see how the English boys will go against Ukraine. Been some shock results in the Euros so far.
Been very interesting.
Good press here from the Suns, making sure that Sartori has to go long, which he does. Looking for the head of the big fella, but that's a risky headed back, and luckily Zach McLeod's off his line early.
I think he's quite good at that. He's always very alert. I've never seen him too unsure of what he's doing. He always commits for those 50-50 ones where you could stay, you go. He seems to be sort of, more often than not, he's alert to the task and he's going to come out and clean it up. And I think that's a really good assertive quality for a goalkeeper to have. So he's done very well there.
Absolutely. I'd say, I've had this discussion before, I'd say he'd have to be probably the youngest starting goalkeeper in NPL2, being still a teenager, I believe. And he's proved his worth. A couple of game-winning saves so far for the Suns this season. And as you said before, always off his line, assertive, talkative, and commanding at the back, which is what the Suns need.
Certainly. They're deep in attack here, although they give us a bit of territory, Pascoe Vale. Rahimi's ball's good, that'll be Yildiz. We just went into the area, who's he got? It's Hasoli drifting at the back stick. I think Nash in the end is the one who's put it behind. He was probably equal to the task if the ball had been inch perfect. As it is, the Pascoe Vale boys will have a throw. Looks like our man Talarico there on the touchline. Just searching around for an option. Big Yusuf dinked it up for him. Murray for not the biggest man. He's shown quite a bit of strength there. And I think that's Elliott that's gone down under a lockhead tackle, and it'll be a Suns free kick as we drift over the half-hour mark. 0-0, McEwen reserve. Doesn't feel like the sort of game where you're going to need 3 goals to win it. One might well do tonight.
Yeah, we saw that last time with the Suns just edging Pascoe Vale in round 3, 1-0. Both fairly solid at the back, as it's shown, but the ball's floated in. We had, I believe it was Lally arriving late, but Shamoon still looking to dance around his man on the edge. He's got a couple of options. Yep. Gatcombe will float it in and it'll find the head of Murahi, but he hits it over. And as you were saying before, yeah, pretty diminutive, but fairly strong. He's with that cut, he's looking like a prime Wayne Rooney.
He really is. It was not really a half chance, maybe a quarter chance there for the Suns, but you did have Lely arriving late, and even Paul there too could have maybe got his head to something. Didn't quite end up as a big chance. But we continue on, 0-0. Suns will have a throw on the halfway line with Gatcombe. Inboard. Shamoon tries to turn nicely, did okay. Big Grigic did well in the end. Satori clears the lines. Yusuf likes to fly high, and he did well to knock it 4-2 offly that time, and goes into touch.
Yeah, been surprised that Yusuf hasn't really come into the game as much as expected. When you've got someone of that size up top, you'd think you'd be hitting him on the regs, but Pascoe Vale happy to knock the ball around, play some pretty football, but that wasn't so pretty as Offley drags down Shamoon. Suns will have a free kick. Gatcombe to take. Certainly quietened down from his early season antics when he seemed to be scoring every week and wheeling out the Ronaldo celebration. Not sure why, but when you're scoring goals, don't have to really worry. There's Lockhead chasing down McLeod and almost sticks a foot in front of the Suns keeper, but they'll go forward. It's cut out by Yildiz.
Yep, the Suns will look to launch something here. It'll be Gatcombe to throw it in. I'd love just a 5 minute, even if just a few minutes spell, just controlling possession and trying to create a couple of chances. Haven't really been able to hold on to it too much tonight. Big Paulick. Lots of pressure. And in the end, I believe it's Hennessy that clears the lines. Out for a throw. So the Suns still deep in attack.
I think if you're either manager, you're happy to go into the sheds at 0-0 here. Just have a chance to regroup, have a chat to the troops, and form a plan of attack for the second half. But Suns here are in some good real estate, pretty high up inside the Pascoe Vale half.
Yeah,
Long throw in.
Yeah, the long throw. It just didn't have enough on it. We need to get Jordan Barry back because he was the master of them. You'd see the Suns taking long throw routines in the second minutes of games off, and it was quite spectacular. That one not quite on the same level.
Yeah, he was a bit of a marble, was Jordan Barrow.
Yeah, rocket arm.
Exactly. But I found a good replacement in Dunn, who knocks it down for the cross. That's arriving. It seemed like Murray just didn't want a chunk of that, but
wow,
he'll get it again off Nash. Fizz one across, and it's a dangerous ball. Paulick with the follow-up, and how's the ball not in the back of the net?
Wow.
What a sequence of play, and Pascoe Vale have done really well to evade conceding there.
I think it was just a great bit of goalkeeping in the end. I mean, as you said, the ball was fizzed in as Shamoon fires one that was probably always missing, but it did drift back late and just sort of pretend like it was going to catch a top corner. The ball fizzed in by Murray. The keeper couldn't hold on to it and scored after Paul. Was it the keeper? Was one of the defenders? Someone got a block on it and prevented what looked a. That's a huge chance. Just as you say, how was the ball not going in basically?
You have to argue, before that ball that was whipped across by Murray, it seemed like it just fell perfectly, and he didn't seem like he was in the same postcode, but nonetheless, he did well to recover and send one across the box that almost resulted in a goal. But Suns looking to keep this sort of wave of pressure going, but that's a great run there from, I believe, Rahimi, the centre-back. He's gone up. Here's Offley. We know what he can do inside the 18, but Keelty done really well to pick his pocket and emerge with the ball. Suns have got numbers, especially out left. Instead, I'll go right for Paulick. Back to Grant. Sean Pye. He'll find his keeper, McLeod.
Yep, Pye. Just looking around, taking their time. Gatcombe.
Grant.
Sorry, Grant. There's Gatcombe. He flicks it on. And another flick from Paulick. Wanted Shamoon, but Rigic was equal to it. Satori. Chips a really nice ball for Tallarico, who flicked it on. Lockhead. Gets past. Kilty just misses the tackle there. Lockhead. Can he pick someone out? Does he go himself? Has a hit. Oh, and I felt like that might nearly have been going in, but the majority of that shot just drifted late. Had men running for him, had Offley, had Yusuf in the end. Nothing really presented itself, so he went himself and couldn't find the top corner.
Yeah, it was a cracking run there from Lockhead, but it all started with a magisterial touch there from the right back, Adrian Tallarico. We saw it about 30 seconds before, just on that first touch, knocking it straight into his winger, and he did it again there to create the chance. Lockhead, I think he was right to take the shot on himself. Wasn't far off in the end, but Suns have just got away with one there. They'll look to clear their lines. Murray's under a bit of pressure. He'll have to go back to Sean Pye. A little dink over the top. Paul looks good at keeping the ball, and that's what he does here. Lelliot.
Fires it across. Pye now done. Grand drops together. Has he got an option? Tries to fire it down the line to Gatcombe. Chopped out by Hatzi Giorgio. Going for the Suns. As we creep closer and closer to half time. Could either side just grab a vital goal in the dying stages of the first half. Shamoon shows some pace, did really well, and continues to run and got the pressure on. It'll all down to nothing. It'll be a free kick. A goal kick for Mr. Satori, Patrick Satori, they call him.
Yeah, for those just tuning in, it is 0-0 here at McEwen Reserve. GV Suns versus Pascoe Vale. But fairly cagey first half affair. A few chances from either side. We saw a good one from Scott Lockhead just minutes ago. But Nonetheless, the score remains nil, should I say, and it's probably only about 5 minutes to go till the halftime break. And here is Pascoe Vale with Hatsi Georgiou back to Lockhead. He's got some fancy footwork on him. He'll look to bend one across for the big man Yusuf, but it's cut out. And Grigic just quite clumsily collides into Shamoon. Will be a GV Suns free kick.
That's right. The big man throws the body around and takes down Shamoon, who's back on his feet and back in that number 9 spot. Dunn will take it. Can't really see anything he likes. Does he try the left touchline? He doesn't. Guilty. It's a nice bit of control there from Shamoon, and his ball was good too. Murihi. Nash wants to overlap for him. Murihi chips one in, and that's, well, should have been easily dealt with by Satori, and in the end he's able to gobble it up. But good run there from Murihi. Good work for them to find him, and Nash running hard, trying to help him out a bit there too. Just couldn't quite get the end product.
Yeah, Nash with his typical leg work down the left-hand flank, making those overlapping runs. You feel like if Murihi could have found him, it would be a pretty prime opportunity for a cutback, but that doesn't matter. The Suns still retain possession. It will be Nash taking the throw in. Not long left to go in this first half here at McEwen Reserve. Nash will win it back. Looks to chop past Tallarico, but he's been very solid all night, would you say, Alex Mitchell?
Absolutely. I was going to say both defences probably get nearly full marks for their first halves. It's just about which side can lift in that attacking department. The ball there wasn't good enough. Shot up by Yildiz, and he gets smashed by Paulet. It'll help him up. And Pascoe will reset. Big Rahimi. Wide for Tallarico. He's probably been best on for mine. He's ran really hard all day, defended well, done his job there, but also made those moments happen with his runs down the right-hand side. A pick for the Suns of best player so far?
It's pretty hard, I think. Shane Dunn's been a metronome as per in the midfield. Probably hasn't quite had the sort of end product he would have desired, but for me it's got to be Liam Kilty. Just been tireless, running up and down, stopping those counter-attacks in the attacking third for Pascoe, but he's found Nash, who's just dragged one across straight into the feet of Attila Offley. And luckily for the Suns there, Pascoe have fluffed their lines, but
yeah, got away with one there. Nash could have done a lot more with it, Pascoe Vale. In the end, it amounts to nothing because of a loose pass. Gackham in the middle. Really having a struggle to find attacking avenues, the Suns. They probably just need to get back to the sheds, have a chat and sort something out. Got some options on the bench too that they could turn to, so there's always that. As Pye goes down the line. That's a pretty good ball, and it's really well done in the end. And the ref picked up the foul, and he's going to use his first card of the night, I believe. And it's Offley who goes in the book. Professional foul sort of thing there, was it?
yeah, I believe so. Just nipped that counter-attack in the bud pretty well, dragging him down, but Suns, they'll look to put the tall timber forward. We noticed Liam Kilty's stuck on the halfway line, so they're probably just happy to grind out a 0-0 until the half here. But as you mentioned before, plenty of talent on the bench. The likes of Jamie DeSmit, Fraser Gostray, they've appeared in recent weeks, probably around the half an hour, 70-minute mark. Just looking to inject a bit of pace into the contest. Here's Gatcombe to take. Go for the edge of the box. He's found Shane Dunn, whose touch is always immaculate. George Murihi on the spin, but fluffs it a fair while.
That's right. Big Yusuf flies high again. It was a good effort there from Pye to knock it down. Dunn's balling was pretty good. Big Grigic equal to the task. Lelliot flies in, beats one. No foul, says the ref. Looked like he had his legs taken out from under him. Lockhead plays it wide. Offley as Pascoe Vale takes it the other way. Offley on the halfway line. Chiefs one through looking for Yusuf. Good header down from Pye. Well controlled though by Lockhead again. Defensive pressure just outstanding from both sides, but the question is, where's that goal going to come from? Maybe it's here. Paulet chips one wide. Shamoon controls it nicely. Pulls it back. What's he got? Done. Chips one in, wants Nash, who wins the header. He's headed it across to Shamoon, flicked it on. Pascoe defence able to clean it up and bring it the other way now.
Oh, Yusuf skins Liam Kilty and wins the foul. That was a cheeky nutmeg, $2 in the fine book. But yeah, as you've seen, Pascoe Vale just doing really well to shut out the Suns on attack and then showing their prowess on attack, just skirting up the field and winning a foul. Pretty similar position to where the Suns were not so long ago, and it will be, I believe, Rahimi, about 40 yards out. Probably looking for the likes of Yusuf and Offley drifting in at the back post. It is Offley to drop short. Dances around Dunn and gives it wide. Yusuf, he'll have a crack, but it's well blocked. Gatcombe sticking a leg out, and Pascoe Vale will reset through Grigic.
That's it. Puts it wide to our man Tallarico. Down the line, it's a pretty good ball if he's on, which the ref says he is. Lockhead goes 1-on-1 with Kilty. Brings it to. Oh, it's a pretty good ball in too, and Grant arrives late and boots it away. Nice little moment for the Pascoe Vale boys. Can they just find themselves a goal before half time? Not too long left now. Would probably be just about to head into injury time. Plays it wide, essentially for Rahimi, and he goes wide for Offley. It's a pretty good ball in. Again, McLeod equal to the task. Trying to pick out Yusuf, who made a nice little run. Offley looks good with the ball at his feet, just sort of picking out those options. But that time, the keeping was just a little bit too good.
Yeah, coming into this game, I sort of assumed that Offley would take on the number 9 role, but he's been more of a 10, just dropping a little bit deeper and threading those balls through to his big men up top. But good feet there from Rahimi, who's been in a more advanced role as the half's gone on, and shot taken on from Offley safely over the bar, and it'll be a Suns goal kick.
Yep, looked like the shot of a frustrated player there, I think. He's probably never really going to score from there. If he's lucky, he puts it on target and the keeper saves it, but I don't think he's going to score from there. Just probably hasn't had the best half, Offley, but you can see his class, and you sort of still do fear him, and if he can get the ball in the right areas, you know he's going to make the Suns pay tonight. So still the danger man, you would have to say. Fly goes along.
Yeah, the Suns, those long balls just aren't cutting it. They've really only looked good when they've hit the feet of Shamoon, and he's dropping off to his incoming runners, likes of Paulick, Dunn, Grant. And when he's chasing against what was 3, I believe is now 2 centre backs, he's really got no hope. Offley shanks one, but it works out, finds Lockhead. He goes around the corner to Tallarico. He's got Lalliot on his case. Lockhead's been a bit of a catalyst for Pascoe Vale as time's gone by, but Murray stands tall. Sticks a foot in, but somehow Pascoe Vale still has the ball. Tilla Offley just rounds the corner once more, goes wide to Yildiz. Gets it back. Here's Shamoon. Looks to go on a darting run, but the ref will say no. That's all we've got for the first half here at McEwen Reserve. Scores locked at 0-0. Thoughts, Alex Mitchell?
Just renamed me Alec there, that's nice. No, a good half. I think both sides were very organised defensively. Not an awful lot of chances either way, but a couple of quality ones. I think that the Suns will really have to think about how they function moving forward, but it should be an interesting second half. We'll head to halftime break now. Golden Valley Suns 0, Pascoe Vale 0. Welcome back, everyone. Second half underway here at McEwen Reserve, 0-0 for those just tuning in. And I believe once we get ourselves sorted here, we've got a substitution to announce, which was George Murray making way for Fraser Gostray, who's going to get involved early. Cuts in nicely. Gatcombe, ball in. Geez, wouldn't that have been a nice start for the second half? That's Giorgio's able to clear it away.
Yeah, interesting to see George Murray leave the park. Had a pretty strong first half, had a couple of good chances down that left-hand side for the Suns, but he's made way for the effervescent Fraser Gostray. That was a ball across from Darcy Paulock, snuffed out by Patrick Sartori.
I believe it's an injury for George Murray here, by the way, which has made the substitution happen. Half a chance there, but alert to it was Zach McLeod again, as he has been all season.
Yeah, flag went up late there from the assistant referee. It seemed like Attila Offley was away, but well snuffed out by Zach McLeod. And Suns on the charge now. Ooh, ball over from Barney Shamoon, snuffed out by, I believe that's Yildiz, the left back. Had a pretty strong first half for Pascoe Vale, just roaming up and down. Latched on to a few through balls put through by Rahimi, but it'll be his opposite, Adam Gatcombe, picking up the ball, looking for a man. Just drifts it into Darcy Paulock, holds off his man well, but I believe that's Hennessy. Just cutting it out and knocking it forward.
That's it. So you just sort of wonder what the message was from the coaches, from both coaches at half time, because I think both would feel the game's on a knife's edge, and if they can strike first, it could easily be 3 points. Gostray fizzes one in, nearly fell for Paulock. In the end, it'll fall for Lelliot, who gives it a bit, and it's in the car park. Quite literally in the car park, actually. So someone will run to get that one, and we'll get play back underway. It's 0-0 and a huge encounter at McEwen Reserve in the grand scheme of the MPL2.
Yeah, Suns coming out from the second half like a cold out of the turnstiles, just really occupying a good bit of real estate inside Pascoe Vale's half, and a couple of good chances there. The ladder falling to Matt Lelliot, whose shot found its way, as you mentioned, into the car park. There's a few, probably a Mercedes-Benz out there with a ding on it, but that's all right. Ball headed forward by Yusuf. That's Lockhead, just dancing around both Gostray and Kilty. Still got it, has Lockhead. Looking for Yildiz. Hatzi Georgiou. He's been a little bit quiet. Hasn't had a lot of the ball in that first half. He'll look to get more involved. Here's Rahimi. He's got options left and right.
Absolutely. Hatzi Georgiou to touch on a bit quiet. Looks like a reasonably young fella. Baby-faced. He picks out quite a long ball, but Gatcombe nods it away. Yusuf back across to Rahimi. Now we'll try it through Tallarico. As we've touched on all day, been impressive. Cuts inside again, does well, and he's just absolutely studded by Lelliot, who claims he gets the ball. What he does get, in fact, is a yellow card. We thought it might be his fifth of the season, but as he assured us before the game, it's only his third, so he's good to go. And there's that aforementioned yellow card for Elliott.
Yeah, back to 3, I believe. So he's got a little bit of a buffer, but you just wonder why he does go in for those agricultural 2-footers. There was no real need. Had plenty of men behind him.
Doesn't necessarily achieve much, but you can't ask her. What's that saying? You can't ask a tiger to change his stripes, I guess. So.
Absolutely, stick to your brand.
Yep, and that is his brand. Whipped in. Gee, he fell for big griggage. Kilty did really well there. Sort of rode the tackles and was able to clear the lines a bit. Although Rahimi will try and fire it back in now. Cuts inside, wants that right. Oh, and it fell for Hennessy, was it? Who not
Evading him. Here's Offley. He'll look to go all the way back, but he's just sniped Varney Shamoon in the head. Nonetheless, here's Gostray. He's got a few men on him, and Hennessy, who had the chance down the other end, will sweep in to knock that one out.
bit of energy in the contest, which is always what you like to see. You just wonder if that energy is going to translate to a goal from either side. Oh, Kilty misses him. It's going to fall for Offley. He's essentially through and goal, but a brilliant sprint from Nash, who brings him down. It could easily... Goal Offley, just a couple of strides to really find full speed. And as you said, by the end, Nash had too much pace for him. Tracked him down by the time he got level with him. Just the slightest bit of contact, really. It wasn't. You see challenges like that all the time where they're far more cynical than that to prevent a goal. And that's really best case scenario for the Suns. They're able to track him down, no shot, not get the red card, which is important. But they'll have to survive a free kick from, what would you say, 25 yards straight in front. So take your pick if you want to use a right or a left footer. It looks like Offley, I mean, he's the danger man, so he's probably said, boys, stand back and watch. Here he goes. Goes low, and it's beautifully dealt with by the Suns' wall, I believe.
Yeah, again, Suns just managing to get away with that one somehow. It seemed like Rahimi wanted a bit of that one as well, but it was Offley to take, and he did hit it low. Struck it true, but struck it into the foot of a Suns defender.
But if the Suns can go on and win this match, they'll look back on that Greg Nash tackle, that chasing tackle to prevent a shot there as one of the, possibly the key moment of the contest. Maybe he comes now, Gostray, fresh legs, uses that pace, goes wide, tries to chop it in. He'll have to go again. Really good job from Rahimi, but he's won a corner, has Gostray, so the Suns will bring the heavy hitters forward and try and find that opening goal, 0-0 at McEwen Reserve in a contest that is beginning to entertain.
Yeah, as you mentioned before, it could be a turning point, and Greg Nash has had plenty of practice. I've seen him chasing down calves in the paddock with that sort of audacity. But Suns here on the front foot. They've got a corner, and it'll be Sean Grant to take. Whips it in. Oh, looking for the front post. It's full into Gostray. He just dinks it over daintily, but...
Tried to do the team thing and just lob one back in, but there was no one there. He might as well have had a shot, really. Shamoon. This is good from the Suns. They're just finding some sort of spark, and a lot of it's coming from the new man, Gostray. It'll be a throw, and now it's back in. Lelliot, whips one in, went the ground approach. Chopped out, but it'll be another throw. So the Suns stay on the front foot here. They've impressed opening up in the second half as we hit the 55-minute mark. And they need to seize this momentum. Harness the momentum, I guess would be the better way of saying it. And if they could grab a goal, that'd be great too.
Pascoe Vale with backs to the wall. 2 men flying in. One was Sean Grant for the Suns. But Pascoe Vale emerging with the free kick. That'll be Sartori going early wide to Hennessy. He'll go to Tallarico. Steps on it. Well, he's given the ball away there. And here's Paulick. He's gone backwards, but nonetheless, the Suns have possession. Out wide to Nash, overlapping run. Fizzes it across, and that'll be deflected out for a GV Suns corner. Sean Grant to take. But yeah, just a good passage here for the Suns going forward.
Yeah, and you've got to make the most of moments like this in a contest such as this, where it's been tense, it's been cagey. When you are able to really find that momentum, get on the front foot, if you can grab a goal, it's just so crucial. And as we were talking about at half time, it's just such a tough league. Every game is so intense. Any goal could just be so huge here. As it's whipped in, no one there at the back stick. Rahimi. Lelliot tried to fire it back in, didn't necessarily work out. Nash tackles. Lelliot, he puts it back in. And I think that was a shot from Gackham. It rolls to Satori, and the Pascoe Vale boys will reset, try and bring it the other way and find a goal of their own.
It was, in fact, Shane Dunn on the spin with a shot, but that's all right. The outcome was pretty non-existent. He's done again. Oh, he's done Yusuf fairly dirty there with a cheeky little nutmeg, and he's picked out a pass to Gostre. Oh, that's a dangerous ball. Shouts a handball. Shamoon. It's just pinballing around in the box, and it does end up in the hands of Sartori. Chance just to perhaps settle here for Pascoe Vale. They've done well to keep the Suns out for the last 5 minutes. Bit of pressure. There's the Suns to sit on the ball once more. Back to McLeod. He's opted for a first-time pass, and Sean Pye had to be awake, which he was, luckily. Here's Isoli. Out wide to Offley. What's he got? Not a whole lot, as it turns out.
No, not the league leading scorer. That's not what you expect from him. It wasn't great. But he's still the man to watch as someone's phone hits the deck. That's always good. Shamoon drops deep to win it, and the pressure was just a bit too much there, and Big Yusuf did well. In the end, the Suns win it back. Dunn ends up with Shamoon. Rides not a great. Now that's a very bad tackle, and the referee will go to the pocket and produce yellow card. Really interesting looking unit, this referee, but it's a great look. He's given his 3rd yellow card of the day. I think it was to our man Rahimi, who goes in the book.
It's always great to see the referee opting for the Copper Monday else, keeping it old school.
Yeah, he's got the sort of the slick back hair, the mo. I think it's a mo. It's a bit hard to see, but it looks good nonetheless. I like it, and the tucked-in shirt is perfect as well. So he's really ticking all the boxes tonight. Gatcombe fires one down the line. No one there. The longer this game goes, the more you just think it's 1-0 either way or a 0-0 basically. Yildiz tries to chip one. It's not a bad ball, just a little bit too close to McLeod, who gobbles it up. The right idea, if that sort of is 5 metres the other way, perhaps it falls for a Yusuf. As Gostre tries to turn, he did brilliantly, and it's a cynical challenge from Yildiz, who really should go in the book for that one, but he doesn't. He was frustrated because he got beaten by the young man who spun around too, and he hacked him basically. Is the best way to sum that one up.
Yeah, Fraser Gostre just working his way out of a phone box there. Good feat from the young lad. But as you mentioned before, 1-0, it seems like it's going to be the defining result. Who's got the dagger? Here's Lelliot just galloping through. He's still got the ball somehow. And luckily, I believe it was Hatzi Georgiou just covering across to smack that one into the car park for a GV Suns corner kick. But Yeah, you'd have to say the Suns come out in the second half on the front foot. They're probably looking the likely to score out of the two sides here.
Yep, I'd agree with that. We'll just have to see if they can just find. It's been something they've just struggled with a bit all season, is capitalising on chances, finding that crucial goal, which means you can change your game plan and solidify, defend that 1-0 lead. We'll have to see what they can conjure up here. Looks like a Shamoon on the ball in the corner. The bigger men are Kilty and Paulick, maybe Lelliot at the back stick. That's what they aim for, I reckon. And it sort of fell to him. Couldn't really affect it goalward. It'll be a goal kick.
Yeah, we saw it about 5 to 10 minutes ago. Another GV Suns corner from that left-hand side, just floating it to the back stick, and there was no one there. So they were making sure this time that they load up, and I think it was Matt Lelliot and Darcy Paulick sort of vying for the header on target there, just skewing it wide. Looks like we're going to have a substitution here.
So Jonathan Vakertis coming on for Pascoe Vale. Making way was Bardi Hisoli, who wasn't good, wasn't bad. He just sort of existed today. But we'll see what Mr. Vakertis, was it? We'll see what he can bring to the table in that centre midfield role.
But here's Offley. He's on the burst. He's got Kilty shadowing him. Just gives him the shoulder, but Nash is there. Does well to pick the pocket of the NPL2 leading goal scorer at the moment. 9 goals for Pascoe Vale so far this season. Hasn't had the desired impact he would have tonight. And there's Nash. He looks up for Paulick. The touch is heavy, and Hennessy's quick enough to cut that one out.
By the way, we should have touched on that. One of the bench players for the Pascoe Vale is Hakeem Alarobi, a famous Australian at this point, who we all know that story and sort of a tragedy that he went through, and it's great to see him, a former Goulburn Valley son, and it's great to see him back playing football, and he's on the bench tonight. Hopefully we get to see him take on his former club with a bit of a cameo off the bench, but great to welcome Hakeem back to Shepparton.
Yeah, absolutely. Good to see him. In different colours this time. Obviously had a good career with the Suns many moons ago, but he's on the bench for Pascoe Vale, and we've just seen a substitution. It was, I believe, Sean Grant making way for Jamie DeSmit. The ball's forward for Varney Shamoon, and it's just going to be a bit too heavy. And we've also had a bit of other news from the Shepparton footballing landscape the last week. We had a nice visit from a local Ol, the favourite son, just jetting into Shepparton before he flies out to Stuttgart. And I believe came to a training session and said hello to all the boys. Pardon the pun. There's Gostray with a lick on goal. And it was that man, Patrick Sartori, had to be alert, diving to his left to stop that chance, and probably one of the better ones of the game.
Certainly, and look, while Gostray really, I believe he came on due to an injury, he's really made an impact. It seems to be a substitution that's working out brilliantly for the Suns. That energy he's bringing, a bit of dynanosis. I can't say that word. He's dynamic, basically. He's been quite good since he's come on. That effort there, just nearly caught out Sartori at the near stick, was equal to the task. And look, it's a good save. It's a good chance too. So more of that. And we'll see what the Suns can come up with here with Shamoon. It's not a bad one, but just sort of drifting away a bit too much. Lelliot, can they recycle here? Chipped in, Paulick, flicked it on. Kilty doesn't really know what to do with it. DeSmit, good tackle. Nearly falls for Gatkin. DeSmit keeps fighting for it, and maybe it'll come the other way now. Rahimi. Talarico, and now it's going to be whipped across. Gostray gets low to deal with it. They reckon he used his hand, but the ref says he didn't. And he keeps running and running. Great tackle there. Grigic did well to bring him down. Paulick pushes it wide. DeSmit, what's he got in the middle? Just tries to go one-on-one, whips one in. Dealt with, falls, passes. Gostray, does he have a hit? Tackled. Wow, it's just really building this contest for the Suns. Just can't find that moment to strike on goal. Rahimi deals with it.
What a passage there from the Goulburn Valley Suns. He just almost can't believe that the ball hasn't found the back of the net there. So many offensive opportunities, and they just haven't managed to get a shot on. But Pascoe Vale, they've held firm at the back as they have done all night long here at McEwen Reserve. Here's Hatsi Georgiou. He's found his left back Yildiz in a bit of space. He floats it in, but there is a man deemed to be offside. I believe it is the captain Yusuf, and it'll be a Suns free kick. Guilty to take.
Build into something here this game. You feel like the goals come in, but it's a problem. As you said there, the Suns, they've really they've got quite a bit of the momentum, but they haven't got a lot of shots to show for it. They can't, for the territory, spell of territory they're having, they haven't really been able to have a couple of, other than the Gostray effort, any real chances on goal. So they've just got to keep pushing and maybe just fire a couple of shots away if they can, but got to stay alert defensively. As Keelty was there, throwing his body around as he has all night. He's done a good job. The ball spills, and I think we might be about to look at a substitution for Pascoe Vale. We'll keep an eye on that. As Hennessy just rides a few tackles, drives it across to Grigic. And a bit of pace here, which I believe is Tallarico, just deputising in the middle. Or the ball through for Yusuf was chopped down, and it needed to be beautiful turn to Smith. Flicks it. The Suns, they need to keep running. Dunn pushed it wide to Paulick. Back to Dunn. They probably wanted to break a bit quicker there in the end. They'll take it slowly. Nash gets past someone. Did well. Shamoon. What's he got on offer? Turned beautifully and fizzed one across. It just won't get to Gackham. It was actually really nice from Yildiz. And then his ball was even better offly. He controlled it nicely, but the pressure was there from Dunn. Elliott helped him win it back. Dunn turns. Oh, the ball through, just couldn't find the feet of Smith, who wins it back himself, who shoots when he really could have passed the Darcy Paulick, who was screaming for it. You're the professional here, Liam. Was that the right option to shoot there?
Look, I've played alongside Jamie DeSmit, and I've seen him score from that range many a time, so I don't hold it against the man for having a pop. Not the cleanest strike, dragged it pretty heavily to the left, and as you mentioned, Paulick had a few yards ahead of him, but the Suns there just, hell for leather on attack, and it looks like we're going to have another sub here.
Yeah, we've got a sub. It's Offley who makes way. So the man we talked about all night, we thought he might be one of the ones to make an impact. Offley, he will leave without a goal tonight, and he's replaced by Joffrey and Koso, who was a player we were talking about before the match. Seems like a young man with a bit of excitement about him, so we'll see what he can bring off the bench. Mr. Joffrey, well, Mr. Nkoso, but Joffrey's a really cool name. I'll probably be calling him Joffrey all night.
The king, they call him.
I was going to do that shocking joke, but
the Game
because
of
I haven't
Thrones
actually
out
watched Game of Thrones, I didn't know if he was the king. But anyway, you got it.
The more you know. Anyways, we'll excuse that as Hatsi Georgiou looks for the back heel, but he still pins it through the legs of Matt Elliott. To no avail as Varney Shamoon's putting on the pressure. The foul will be awarded to Pascoe Vale, be the big dog Grigic.
Oi, oi.
It's wow, Matt Hennessy's just hit the deck.
Looked like it had a few innings.
And we're not talking about the deck Shepparton, if you know what I mean. Here's Pascoe Vale, back to Patrick Sartori. He takes a moment. Looks for Tallarico, who's just been an enigma. Everywhere for Pascoe Vale, has the right back. But here's
He's all over the place.
here's the new man, Joffrey and Koso. Hands it over to Yildiz to take the throw. Drives it inside. Hatsi Georgiou's been solid. That goes far wide.
Wanted Joffrey there to run onto it, just a little bit too far in front of him. McLeod whips it wide for Gatcombe. Has a hunt, goes the Route 1 approach, and it's not worked out. Satori. Tallarico, he's sort of, might have even moved inside to centre back, really. I think our man for Kurtzis has jumped onto that right flank, because we're seeing a lot more of Adrian Tallarico in the middle. Probably still my pick for best of field tonight. Although a couple of the Suns are really making a case for it. A couple of these ones off the bench too. DeSmit and Gostro are making things happen.
Yeah, and we saw the ball floated across there for Scott Lockhead, who's just gone quiet in the second half. We haven't seen any of him. He was a real live wire in the first, dancing around players, taking on men. But he just hasn't had the ball he's wanted so far in the second. We're probably about halfway through the second half. So the Suns just ticking around. Bit of pressure. Pai has to deal with it, and he plays a cracking ball out to his right back. Adam Gatkin with space to drive. Oh, he just misplaces that pass to Gostray.
Yep, frustrated. Because he really could have done a bit better with that. I reckon he knows he could have done better and found Gostray with a bit of space to run. But that's all right. Tallarico across to Hennessy. What can Pascoe Vale come up with? They really haven't had any chances in the second half. And they've taken off their top scorer in offers. Joffrey just hacks someone down. Ends up with Gostray. Jeez, he's done well since he's come on Gostray. Just rides a few tackles, gets through a few, ends up losing it. Does it spill for Shamoon? It doesn't, because Satori's equal to the task. Alert, able to gobble it up as two Suns are down. It's Gatcombe and Gostray, who got a bit of attention after that tackle. Ref gives him a pat on the head, and he's coming over to give Gatcombe one as well, I reckon. Pat in the back, you'll be right, son.
Yeah, speaking of impact, you don't have to look further than Fraser Gostray. He's just been a spark that the Suns have needed down this right-hand side, just weaving in and outside of Pascoe Vale markers. Just been a real threat, as I touched on before. One-on-one, he's a real danger. So I'd say for Craig Carley now, you'd have to say just give the ball to Fraser, see what he can produce.
And just on the Suns bench, looks like Ellis Williamson's taken off the jumper. He's looks like he's ready to go now as Yildiz tries to beat Gostray down the left. Gostray did appear to bring him down, but the referee didn't appear to award a foul. It's going to be a goal kick. So if Williamson, who's when I've seen him play this year, has just been a super solid centre back. I wonder what he will bring to the game tonight as the Suns chase a goal. I believe the subject. Yep. It's going to be Gatcombe that makes way. So Williamson could take that right back role, do you think, or does one of the centre backs shift across?
No, I think Williamson will slot into that right back position. He has played there for the Suns before the season and has done a fine job in doing that. It's just a real threat anywhere you play him. Obviously has those long diagonal balls beneath his belt, which we've seen from centre back week in, week out for the Suns. But the Pascoe Vale attack just putting a high press on the Suns, and Sean Pai picking out a good ball, finding Ollie, just nods it on. Shamoon's a bit unlucky, but DeSmith's giving chase to Hennessy. That's Sartori. He'll put some snow on it, and he'll be out for a Suns throw-in. Williamson's first involvement.
We should have said a quick hello to, we've got apparently, just from some feedback we had at half-time, a few of the Pascoe Vale fans watching along down in Melbourne. Thanks for joining us tonight. Thanks very much for tuning into the live stream. And I'm sure, as always, we've got a few of our international viewers, a few of the friends and families of our Golden Valley Suns players. So a quick hello to you as well. I hope you're enjoying an entertaining, albeit cagey encounter here in Shepparton.
Yes, neither side yet to find a way through and score a goal here at McEwen Reserve. Score's still locked at 0-0, but you can't say there haven't been chances, because they have. It's hard to say which side has had the majority. I'd say we're leaning towards the Suns here, especially in the second half. The injection of Fraser Gostray and Jamie DeSmit has really caused some headaches for the reshuffled Pascoe Vale backline, but they've held firm. That's Hatsi Georgiou finding Hennessy.
Yep, pushed inside for Lockhead, who danced around one. That's better from him. Wanted Yusuf out wide and the flag's up. So nothing will come of that one. You're right, Lockhead definitely made more of an impact in the first half, but he's still someone who I'd want the ball at his feet, because I think he's making things happen and he's been rather busy, particularly through that first half. I still think he's one who could make an impact, and we still need to see a bit more from Joffrey and Co. So he's just come on, hasn't had too much of it. I wonder if he's someone that can spark something for Pascoe, because he's replaced a prolific scorer as the Smith. Great ball down the line. Lelliot has a look inside. The ball wasn't great. To Smith. Can he turn and shoot? Gave it to Shamoon, who shot. It's in! It's in! The shot from Barney Shamoon took a deflection. It bounced in front of the keeper. The keeper got his hands to it. In to the top corner. What a moment at McEwen Reserve as the Suns take the lead. Varney Shamoon, 1-0 Goulburn Valley Suns.
Yeah, pretty fortunate there for Shamoon. He took a chance, gambled, cut onto his right foot and had a dig. Ball ricocheted off Pascoe Vale defender's foot, and unfortunately for Patrick Sartori, that dew just causing a real headache, and then Shamoon running into the home fans and giving it the Kylian Mbappe. You love to see it, and the home fans going a bit stir-crazy here at McEwen Reserve.
That's right, a bit of emotion in that celebration. The boys looked up and about. It's we've hit the 76-minute mark, so look, I did see a few of the Suns, perhaps some of the experienced heads, Jamie to Smith, just saying, boys, settle down. We've got the lead. Don't get emotional. Don't go over the top now. Let's really knuckle down and do the job and secure the 3 points. But just a huge moment for the Suns in the context of the season. If they can knock off the second best side in the league and address the home form that hasn't been great of late, this would be such a big moment. And Shamoon really, he's worked hard and he's got a slice of luck, but you make your own luck, I think, is some sort of cliche. As they push forward here. Rahimi was brought down and the ref spotted it. Not an awful lot in it, but I do think he was probably right to blow the whistle on that one.
Yeah, referee was well in his power to award that free kick, and this is where the Suns have really got to knuckle down. We've seen in the past they've scored goals and conceded straight away. I remember Kingston City at home conceding a pretty average goal directly after scoring down the other end. So with the Tilly Offley, it could be Rahimi to step over this one.
Realistically, the Suns have looked super polished at the back all night. You'd love to think from their perspective that it shouldn't change now. They've got the lead. That should suit them. It should mean they can really delve further into that defensive personality the side's been able to show at times this season. But it's going to have to start with a stop on this free kick, which is, we'll call it 26, 27 yards out, slight angle. Rahimi is over it, and if they're going to use the right foot, it'll be him. I haven't quite seen who's got the other side. It's going to be Rahimi, who hits it. Oh, and it's a fantastic stop from Zach McLeod, because that looked like it was going to just dip into the bottom corner.
Yeah, a stunning right hand from Zach McLeod. He's done it time and time again for the Suns. I remember probably a couple of months ago now, Moreland Zebras, the right foot of Dario Vidicic looked destined for the top left-hand corner, and Zach McLeod said no, just as he's done about 10 seconds ago here. So the Suns still have a bit of work to do.
He's super impressive, McLeod. 10 to play. Whipped in. It's in. It's in. Well, Tallarico, just brilliant. Drifts in at the set piece. And it's heartbreak for the Suns. And Pascoe Vale, they've got energy about them now. They've got their goal. Adrian Tallarico, we've talked about him all night. He's not a big man, but he just drifts in from the corner, finds himself unmarked, nods it in. It just trickles into the goal. 1-1. The game's come to life with 2 goals in about 2 minutes. The Suns have got to do it all again, and now you've got a Pascoe Vale side that's searching for their winner.
Yeah, exactly. We just spoke about it before. GV Suns have got to be cautious after scoring. They say it's when you're most vulnerable, and it's just proven that fact right there. Corner whipped in, and he just seemed to be unmarked, was Tallarico. And if he wasn't already up there for the 3 votes, he's certainly getting them now. A goal and a pretty flawless performance from what was the right back is now looking like he's dipped into the heart of midfield.
I'll tell you what, the Suns have really... Now, we were talking about how they needed to defend for the 3 points. Now they've just got to hold on, because Pascoe Vale's got some energy. They want a winner now. They're the side that's going to leave here with the 3 points. We'll see. Tallarico again, geez, he's been impressive. fires a beautiful ball to Yildiz. Indoors to Yusuf, who has a run. Back to Yildiz. Whipped it in. He's seemingly brought down. He's yelling at the ref. Nothing doing. Shamoon. Ball wasn't good enough. Rahimi turned nicely. Absolutely all happening here at McEwen. Ball wasn't bad there. Fizzed in. Lockhead brought down. Pen.
Kilty.
Penalty. Liam Kilty dived in for the ball. He brought him down. It was Lockhead, I believe. And from 1-0 on about the 75-minute mark, the Suns are 1-1 on 80 minutes, about to try and save a penalty. Well, it's all happening.
Yeah, you talk about game management, and really, after scoring, you don't need to be going forward. We saw the Suns just going broke up front, trying to sort of almost get a sealer, but what they needed to do is just step on the ball and gain position, and now they find themselves 1-1.
It's going to be Lockhead. So he's won the pen. He's going to take it himself. It's just a huge moment. McLeod, so impressive all season. What can he do from the spot? Lockheed steps up and scores. Went for the top right. McLeod guessed right, just didn't have the ability to get that high and save it. Too much on it. It was a great penalty, in fact. And from 1-0 ahead, the Suns trail 2-1. Pascoe Vale, very impressive from what could have been a loss. They've put themselves in the position to win it.
Yeah, you see Suns coach Craig Carley just pacing the sideline over there. He must just think, what is going on here? From being 1-0 probably about 5 minutes ago to being 2-1 down, it's really not good enough from a Suns perspective. They've got about 5 to 10 minutes left to try level the pegging here, and they'll look to start sharp from the kickoff. Here's Kilty, who did give the penalty away. He'll go out to Nash. Pascoe Vale just skipping their step.
It's the sort of thing that mate, why I'd probably never get into coaching. So frustrating to just see your side work so hard, get that just a slice of luck for the lead as well, and they didn't throw it away, but they didn't really help themselves. They didn't dig in defensively as we really hoped they would. And now Pascoe Vale, they're the team now who's going to, they've played essentially 5 at the back all night. Those wingbacks won't need to get too high now. They'll be just sitting deep, trying to kill this contest. As Joffrey and Koso battles with Gostre. I wonder where the Suns can find a spark now. They just need something extra. Flicked on to Smith. Whips it in. Is there anyone home? Oh, chopped out by a Pascoe Vale defender. It looked like maybe it was destined for the net, but it wasn't really. He's just done a fantastic job to clear the ball.
Yeah, Jonathan Vikertsis there, the substitute, just sweeping across and hooking that one out for a throw. It had to be made, that challenge. I believe it was, I think Dunn ghosting it at the back stick. Here we've got a long throw. We've got Williamson, the substitution. He's got a bit of a launch on him and had to be alert. Pascoe Vale managed to hook it out.
Yeah, McLeod was on his halfway line for that long throw. That to me screams of a keeper that wants to be up there for the set piece, which I like. Williamson probably had a bit more time than he thought there. As Matt Elliott encourages the ref to hurry up the Pascoe Vale players, who won't be in any rush through this last 5 minutes of the contest. Gee, would be a disappointing loss if the Suns can't find something now. Yusuf. Flicked it on for Joffrey. Chops in. Like it. Ball was fizzed in by one of our the new substitutes there. A Yugen, I believe. I'm sorry, I'm probably butchering that name. Flicked on. Rahimi. He cut in. He's got men at the back stick. Just couldn't find the opportunity to fire one in, and in the end the cross hits the side netting. It'll be a corner.
Yeah, Suns here, they'll be looking to deal with this corner and break down the other end, because there really isn't long left here at McEwen Reserve. 2-1 in the favour of Pascoe Vale. From initially being 1-0 down, they came back in a 5-minute period. Bit of a flurry to take the ascendancy here, and the Suns It's backs to the wall job here. Ball's flicked in. Here's Hennessy. There's the substitute for Kurtz. It's just latching onto one, but thankfully for the Suns, it's hooked well left of the target.
That's it. We're ticking over 86 minutes now. It's do or die time as another Pascoe Vale player cramps up. Shane Dunn gives him a help, which is always nice to see. But it's kitchen sink time for the Suns. All you've got, probably about 3 or 4 minutes plus another few minutes of stoppage time to find an equaliser. Even grabbing a point would be good now. The Suns will try and come forward. But Kilty had to retreat. Back to McLeod. They've just got to go now. Done. Driven through ball. Fired towards the camera equipment, which is seen our producer just duck for cover, but we're all good.
Yeah, we saw Shepparton United finest, Zulfikar Elizada, just sticking a right palm out for that one, but to no avail. The ball's chucked over the top from Williamson, looking for Paulick, but the Suns are going to have to be a bit more crafty in their build-up if they are to break down this pretty solid Pascoe Vale backline. They'll go forward. Here's the new man. Nkoso. Yildiz. Williamson. Goes diagonal, but it's far too easy, and Patrick Sartori will gobble that one up.
Yep. There's going quickly because the game's on the line, and then there's just wasting it a little bit because he's just fired that straight to the keeper there, Williamson. Sartori goes the moon ball, and it's got a bit on it. Drops for Lockhead, but it's out of play. Suns have just minutes left to find something from this game. Done. The ball just wasn't good enough there, and it's taken away. Yusuf, the big man, drives inside, tried to cut in and use his right. In the end, he fails. Done. Go quickly, but he went a bit too quickly. Eugen has a hit. It was probably going in, but a beautiful block from Pye. McLeod. No time to lose now. Goshtray. It's been good since he came on. Loses at that time though. Beautiful ball inside, and Koso was chopped out. Good tackle, Elliott, but given away again. Yusuf flicked it on, he's offside, says the assistant referee. It was Nkoso. So not long left at all now. Done, Williamson. And that's going to amount for nothing as the Pascoe Vale boys just fire up. They can taste this victory. As we've said all season, every time a team comes to Shepparton, that, you know, big away day, the big time on the bus, every time you can secure 3 points here, the opposition club, it just means so much to them, and that's what they can taste at this point.
Yeah, we saw what it meant to Manningham away last weekend. That sealer in the 75th minute had the players going absolutely NATO, but Pascoe Vale here, they're looking like they're going to clinch the 3 points at McEwen. We're just waiting for the assistant to throw up the amount of added minutes as Rahimi gets things started, finds his big man. It's Yusuf, somehow comes away with it, and Suns are going to have to put the pressure on. That's a good switch there from Yildiz.
Wow.
And a great first touch from the substitute.
Yep.
That's out to Lockhead. Goes for the nutmeg on Nash, but... Sorry, Kilty. He does well. Done. Good bit of passing. So he's been lively. Shamoon lays a tackle. And it will eventually find its way out of touch for a Pascoe Vale throw.
As another Pascoe Vale man goes down with cramp. It's the man with the 3 Brownlow votes coming his way, Talarico. as he cramps up. Basically into stoppage time now. They might have even whacked up the injury time. I didn't see it, but not long left at all.
You can just hear Craig Carley screaming at Gostre to get higher up the pitch. He says, "We're chasing the game. We need a goal. Do your duty." But as it noses of the Golden Valley Suns as they're working into the corner, they'll look to run the clock down. Yildiz. He's got his captain. He somehow rinses Matt Lelliott. Lelliott does well though to win the ball back. Pye hoists it, but there's a bit of afters there.
Whee.
Pascoe Vale captain gets up with a few words to say to Matt Lelliott, who, smartly being on a yellow card, just dances away. Suns have got a game to chase, and they...
You can't think why anyone would have an issue with Matt Lillard, could you? I mean, it's just... The fans are getting involved here too. What does Dunn do? Just whips one in. Satori wants it. Aim for it. Ref says it was all clean. And the Suns will reload.
Yeah, it was Nash there, just floating in at the back post. Went up for the header, and I think he was right to go shoulder to shoulder with Satori there. Suns, what can they conjure? They've probably...
Long throw, but was quite a way out. Lelliott headed it back in. Paulik harasses him. Goal kick. Now this is game management from Pascoe Vale. Since they've taken the lead, they haven't given away a chance. They've looked absolutely rock solid. And they are your odds-on favourites to walk away, to hit the highway with 3 points tonight.
Yeah, it's the hallmarks of a quality side. You can see why they spent... You can sort of see them being promoted back up into the top tier. It looks like they're going to come away with the 3 points here. Paulik trying to get out of a phone box, but it will be Pascoe Vale to take the throw.
Yep, can't be long now. It's a matter of minutes, well, potentially seconds. Yusuf, he's played like... Just in absolutely no rush, and why would you be? 3 points would be Pascoe Vale's if they can just kill another couple of minutes.
Looks like they were going up for a sub there, but refs waved that one away. They must be mid. Substitute, winds one up. It's well blocked by Pye, who has been good all night for the Suns. That's a dig. Displayed left by
I believe it's our
substitute.
man, yeah, Eugen. Probably not pronouncing that right, but he's been all right since he came on. Blasted forward. Dealt with again. Gee, they've been solid. And that'll do it. Well, they've worked hard, and they've got... It's about 3 minutes later, they were down 2-1. Pascoe Vale will hit the highway with 3 points. Liam, run us through our goal scorers if you can, and give us a quick thought on the match.
Yeah, so it was the Suns' number 9, that man Vani Shamoon, to kick things off. Pretty well into the second half there. And the Suns did... it will be Pascoe Vale emerging with the 3 points, and probably holding their spot in second on the NPL2 ladder.
That's it. Thank you everyone for tuning in tonight. I hope you've enjoyed an entertaining game of football in which Pascoe Vale will hit the highway with 3 points after a 2-1 victory. Thank you very much for joining us. From me and Liam Nash, it's goodbye.
I'm Matthew Lelliott.
I'm Zach McLeod and I play for GV Suns.
Come down and support the GV Suns.
My club,
Your club.
our club.
Visit our Facebook page to find out when we're playing next.